Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a deleted user in the AIO subreddit. The post is titled, "My daughter is having an affair with the married neighbor. I told her she needs to move out of my house. Last week, I caught my daughter, who's 21, leaving our neighbor's house early in the morning. I was getting a drink around 3 in the morning and watched her leave their house and sneak across the yard and through our basement door. Our neighbor is married and probably 30. I assume his wife was gone for the night as her car wasn't there. The next morning, I went down to my daughter's room and confronted her. At first, she denied it, but she eventually said that she has been sleeping with him for a couple of months. I lost it at that point and yelled at her, telling her he is married and she is helping to ruin a marriage. I told her that she needs to tell the wife or she needs to move out. She is clearly upset and thinks I'm overreacting. My wife also thinks I'm going too far. I get that the neighbor is the main issue, but I'm really disappointed in my daughter. She knows his wife and has even babysat for them. Is telling her to confess or move out too far?" Edit. Wow, thank you all for responding. I'm sorry I couldn't respond to more of you. Some context I failed to put in here. My wife is very upset. She isn't siding with the affair. In fact, she was cheated on by an ex. She understands this better than I do. I think that is a big part of why I'm so angry. My wife is also a better person than I am. She is the only reason I'm the man I am today. I have too much respect to let people, even anonymously, insinuate that she is a problem here. I should have done a better job in explaining her side. Any comment saying anything bad about my wife will be met with a big you. Writing all this out and reading comments has been incredibly helpful. I haven't changed my mind, but it's made me think about the situation more, especially looking at the future and my relationship with my daughter. I just sent a text to my daughter and apologized for my anger and asked her to go get a drink with me tonight and talk. I told her I'm sorry I didn't ask her how she is feeling. I need to get my composure back before my next work call here in a few minutes, but will continue to read and reply to comments as I have time today. Edit #2, just going to put thoughts here instead of commenting. Wow, so many comments. While yes, I may be seeming to backtrack a bit with reaching out to my daughter, I don't see how that is bad. She is my daughter and I love her so much. For those who think she would stop talking to us if we kicked her out, I raised her to be independent and accept consequences for her actions. It's hard to explain our relationship, but I know she wouldn't stop talking to us if we did force her to move. She also would figure it out as she is a smart woman. She would move out of our house, not our life. I'm always her dad. On that note, this is the dad writing, not the mom as some of you have thought. Also, I'm not worried about violence from the neighbor's wife. Unfortunately, she is a very sweet woman, which makes everything worse. But I wouldn't put my daughter in danger. I confirm my daughter hasn't told the husband we know. I will be watching his behavior as I'm not sure how he will react. Last thing, as I find it funny, I was drinking water, not alcohol, when I saw her. I woke up and went to the kitchen and saw her from the window. I really should have made my original post longer. Sorry for all the edits. I'll update after I talk with my daughter. Update. Sorry I didn't update last night. I forgot there were basketball games on and fell asleep watching. I went out for drinks with my daughter. It was awkward at first. We just talked about work and her schooling for a while. It felt nice to just talk about normal things for a bit. At some point, she just asked me if I was proud of her. I almost broke down when she asked that. I said yes, I am proud of her, though I'm not proud of the mistake that she made. I talked a bit about why what she did made me so upset, but that nothing she could ever do would make me love her less. She told me more about how she got involved with the neighbor. I won't share too much. It's nothing terrible like many of you are assuming. They knew each other as she had babysat their baby over the last year. One night she was out with friends and ran into the husband at the bar. That's when things progressed and the affair started. During the same time, she was going through a rough breakup. I knew she was going through that, but didn't realize how bad it was. I told her that she is an adult and responsible for her own actions, that I don't want her in my house doing things like this. We talked about telling the wife. My daughter is scared to tell her. She isn't sure how the husband will react once the affair is out. I'm going to go with her tomorrow while the husband is at work and tell her together. My daughter also wants to move out. She said it's something she had been thinking about before, and now she said it would be be awkward with this being in the open. She started to cry about how she didn't realize the damage she was doing, knowing that she is the other woman and helped to break or at least hurt this marriage. I talked about her mom and her past and what was done to her. That's about it. We cried together, had tough discussions. Tomorrow we will let the wife know and I'll help my daughter move to my sister's place for a while. I told her things will probably get worse before they get better. User Legitimate Outcome said, holding her accountable for her actions while she's still living under your roof is 100% acceptable. She's old enough to know that each action has a consequence, good or bad. User D1 The Beast said, if your wife thinks you're going too far, ask her how she would feel if she were on the receiving end of the affair. To this, OP said she was. Her ex cheated on her. She is upset, just doesn't agree with the punishment. User Elodie Dubois said, if she was their babysitter, it's possible the neighbor had been grooming her for some time. He's a creep and a bad husband. Your daughter might need some counseling to understand what's really going on and how she deserves so much more. This next post was made in the True Off My Chest subreddit by a user named Megsley. The post is titled, My boyfriend's coworkers joked about killing me in their work chat. My boyfriend and I got into a fight about his job yet again. I noticed he was texting a lot after the fight, so once he went to sleep, I went through his phone. I saw the first few texts of them calling me names and saying I'm self-sabotaging things, but then it turned dark. One coworker said he should roofie me, so I just sleep and leave him alone. The next one said she knows how to place a catheter, a feeding tube, and IV so they could knock me out and not kill me. But then her next text made my heart stop. She said they could just chloroform me, pull all my teeth out, and feed me to pigs so nothing was left. The next coworker said her grandparents do have a pig farm. My boyfriend said, no, that's great. And of course they all immediately said they were all joking. I packed quickly and quietly, grabbed my daughter and left. Now my entire life as I knew it is over. I feel like I'm overreacting. I know the police can't actually do anything, so I can't even report it because they never said my name or anything like that. I'm just scared and sad. This is awful. I'll be attaching the pics to my profile if anyone wants to see the actual messages. Edit. I have actually talked with him after unblocking him. Didn't tell him anything, but he claims it was a joke. No one actually threatened me. They were all just venting and I'm overreacting like always. And he isn't going to argue with the voices in my head. Still not going back, but I'm letting him incriminate himself more. He also claims I was never supposed to see the messages anyway. That's his safe place, and I ruined that for him. User Mundane Bike said, you may not be able to get legal help, but you could at least drop into your local police station and just make note of these messages. It may not go anywhere, but none of that was a joke. Ensure they are blocked everywhere. You made a good choice in leaving. If you left anything behind, request the police assist in a civil capacity to help you get anything you left. To this, OP said, that is my plan in the morning. They are blocked everywhere. My ex woke up and started blowing up my phone, so I blocked him, but it's still a scary feeling. User The Alienated Penguin said, I am so very proud of you for leaving. You showed great insight and maturity by realizing that what they were saying, while it may not be an actual threat, was also totally inappropriate and completely distasteful and disrespectful of your ex-boyfriend. You also modeled to your daughter what behavior to never put up with in a partner. Good job, Mom. I know it sucks right now. I know your heart is breaking. I know that part of you will even try to tell yourself that you are overreacting. I promise you this, it will get better. Update. First, I never expected my post to take off, and I'm really appreciative of all the advice and support. It has truly helped. So here is my update. My daughter and I are safe. We left that night and got to our safe spot, and we haven't looked back. I didn't realize just how bad the mental and emotional abuse was until it was pointed out in a lot of the comments. I really appreciate that. I did report it to the police. I was able to gather enough proof that they were talking about me, and they decided to charge them with assault by threat. This won't keep them in jail for long, but hopefully long enough to scare them into leaving me alone. The three of them lost their jobs. While it was a locally owned business, I didn't realize it was a franchise. I reported all the messages to corporate, as well as some more I had found about shady things. So I don't have to worry about them messing with anyone's food after the awful things they planned for me. I'm working on filing for full custody of my daughter. I met with an attorney for a consultation and got some sound advice on what to do until I can actually file and get the ball rolling. My ex has been blowing up my phone, alternating between begging me to come back and attacking me for ruining his life over a joke, calling me every name under the sun. I found out that the coworker in the chat wasn't the only girl he was sleeping with. My friend went and packed up the rest of my stuff and accidentally grabbed one of his old phones. His Apple ID and most things were still logged in when I powered it on. There were multiple dating apps and profiles, along with thousands of messages between him and different women. He slept with many of them. No protection or birth control either, since apparently one of the girls was pregnant but lost the baby about a month ago. There were lots of lies from him about being at work when he wasn't, as well as lies about the times he worked and things like that. It went back to at least November of last year, so who knows how long that's really been going on. So yes, my life is completely flipped upside down. I'm obviously heartbroken and angry, but my daughter and I will be okay, and I'm okay with that. We aren't ever going back, and I'm just ready to move on, get settled again, and also get every STD test available. Thank you to everyone who offered support and messaged me. I really do appreciate all of it. I might post an update once everything is truly settled, but for now, this is it. This last post was made in the AITAH subreddit by a user named Alarmed Sorbet. The post is titled AITA for not giving my GF my social security number so she can run a background check on me. I have been in a relationship with my girlfriend for almost a year now. This evening she sat me down and said she needs to have a serious conversation with me, and she asked for my social security number. I said absolutely not, why would you need that? And she told me about her ex-boyfriend who was basically living a double life. He had a bunch of criminal charges in his past that he'd never told her about, and eventually exposed her to some sketchy and dangerous behavior before she broke things off after he cheated. I said, okay, thank you for telling me that, but what does that have to do with my social security number? She said ever since then she's had her friend that works for the federal government run background checks on people to make sure they're safe. And because our relationship is progressing, she needs to know I'm a safe partner for her, so she wants my SSN to check my criminal history. Now, for the record, I don't even have a parking ticket. I'm a nerd and a gym rat. All I do is work, go to school, play Dungeons and Dragons, come home, watch anime, rinse and repeat. So I don't care about a background check, she won't find anything. But I'm not giving out my SSN. I don't feel comfortable enough providing that to her friend. When I said that, she got upset and said I don't understand what women go through and it's about safety. And I admitted she's right, I have no idea what women go through, but that doesn't mean I'm giving my SSN out to a complete stranger. She says he isn't a stranger, he's one of her best friends and married to a close friend of hers. And I said, honey, that's great, but I don't know him, I don't trust him because I don't know him. That's my information you're asking for. You can trust him with your personal information if you want, but no one I don't know is getting my SSN or critical details. It's just not happening. And she said that our relationship isn't going to be able to progress unless I give him my SSN because she needs to know that she's safe, and she's offended that I don't trust her taste in friends. I got up and left at that point and told her I respect her concerns, but her past trauma doesn't give her the right to try and strong arm me into giving out sensitive information to someone I don't know just because he works for the federal government and has access to a database. I used to work for the federal government, so I can say from experience, everyone working there isn't some wonderful person. I'm not assuming he's a monster or anything, but just working for the feds doesn't prove anything to me. She called me insensitive and hasn't spoken to me since. Personally, I feel like she was gaslighting me into giving her what she wants, but I'm not sure. User Lack No said, NTA, I just had a background check completed. I've had them every 5-ish years for the last 20 years because I volunteer with the children, some in-state, some federal. I also have been screened by the government for a permit several times. I have never had to provide a social security number. Sadly, I think your girlfriend may be the criminal and you may be her long con mark. User Such a Travesty said, NTA. I am a federal employee who does have access to some systems like that in order to locate people, and it is 100% against the law to use them for personal reasons. In fact, we have to try all other reasonable ways to find someone before using these systems. There is something sketchy there. Also, you don't need an SSN to do a background check. A name and address or birth date are enough. Update. After reading the comments I've been getting over the last few days, I decided to call her on New Year's Eve and give things one last chance because I'm the type of person that needs to know I did everything I could before I walk away from a relationship. And some people said she has valid concerns, she just went about them the wrong way, which made sense. I told her, I understand and respect your need to ensure your safety, but I'm not willing to potentially compromise my safety by handing over my SSN to someone I don't know and don't trust. It is illegal for him to even use a federal database for personal reasons. So that's out, but what I will do is pay for a background check of your choosing so long as it's a legitimate service and give you the results. I will not be providing my social security number to anyone, but my address, date of birth, etc. are all fair game. She refused and said that she has chosen a background check and that's having her friend do it because she knows she can trust him. So I said, if that's how you feel and you won't budge, then the issue here is trust. And I'm not willing to stay in a relationship with a woman that doesn't trust me because of some shit that doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm not paying for another man's sins, and I'm not giving you my social security number because your ex was a criminal. She started crying and asking why I can't understand that it's not about me, it's about her. And I said, you made it about me when you asked for my SSN. She got pissed and started accusing me of lying about caring about her safety and saying if I really cared, then I'd have no problem doing this because I don't understand how vulnerable women are in society. So I said I was willing to work with you up to a reasonable point, but now you're just trying to manipulate me, and I don't feel safe being with you anymore. Because if this is how you react when you don't get your way about having my SSN, what happens the next time we have a major disagreement or a serious situation come up? Are you going to keep crying to try and get your way, or throw out another ultimatum to try and force me into doing what you want? She started saying that as a man, I can't understand what it's like to go through life as a woman and have to be afraid, and that this is what she has to do for her safety and security, and I need to just respect that and give her what she needs for her comfort. I was like, I tried to compromise, you wouldn't accept it, there's nothing more to say here. And to be clear, I wasn't exactly calm. I have severe anxiety, so this was a really hard conversation for me to have. I was actively pacing around my house and sweating and forcing words out the entire time. Then she started crying and asking about New Year's because we were supposed to spend it with her parents. I said, you should have thought about that before you tried to strong arm me into getting your way. This isn't a and everyone stood up and applauded moment. That's just how things went. I hung up and now we're over. Obviously, I'm hurt, but I'm realizing I dodged a bullet because there's no reason she should have gotten this messy. And before anyone tries to jump me in the comments, again, I offered to pay for the check. She refused because it wasn't the test she wanted. I feel like I made a good faith effort to resolve things. Hate to ring in the new year without a kiss under the mistletoe, but it is what it is. I don't know if she really is that concerned I'm some lunatic criminal or if she's trying to scam me like a lot of you said. Either way, it's over now.